Welcome back everybody to linuxacademy.com. My name is Terry, and in today's video we're going to continue our exploration of all things related to Nginx, the web server. So as we continue to build on everything we've been doing for our Nginx configuration, we continue to customize and increase the complexity of our configuration. So right now we want to exercise a little more granular control over some of the error pages that are returned to our clients. As we've all seen, we can block our IPs and get a 403 error, as well as the normal Nginx 404 error for content that doesn't exist. However, we've all seen at any number of websites that you can customize your 404 error page. When you customize the 404 error page, you can also do that either on a system level or on a domain level. In our case, we're going to do it on a domain level, but we'll talk about how to do it in a system level as well. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to create that custom 404 page. And you can do the same thing for 403 forbidden page or any of the 500 errors that you may want to. And it's pretty common to customize the 500, 502, 503, 504 errors into a single page. In our case, we're going to do it in a domain at a domain level. So let's change to our var www.html my example domain, and all we're going to do is create a custom 404 page. So let's go ahead and do that now, and we'll say this is our custom content does not exist page, www.myexample.local 404 error, and we'll just call it 404 HTML. Yes, it's a regular text page. You'll obviously want to spend a lot more time customizing your 404 just like you would any other page. In our case, we simply want to get a page in place that we can use. So if we go back to our Etsy Nginx directory, there's two places that you can do this. If you want to do it across the board, then you would edit the nginx.configuration file, and you would put it within the server context and the location context in your Nginx file if you only have one domain set up and you're answering all connections through the Nginx configuration file. However, in our case, as we've done in the past, we have multiple virtual hosts set up, and we want to simply customize the 404 response for the domain we created, www.myexample.local.com. So if we look at right now, if we do a links and an HTTP www.myexample.local, and then we'll just put in something that we know doesn't exist, we get our nice normal 404 not found error message. But what we want to do is we want to customize with the 404 that we just created. So let's go ahead and clear out of here. And let's do a VI on www.myexample.local.configuration. And we're going to put a couple of items in here. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to indicate that we have an error page that's going to override the file name that we're going to use. So we're going to indicate error page, and then the error page that we're going to override, in this case a 404. We're going to tell the system that it's equal to the one that we created, 404 HTML. And then right underneath of that, we're going to create the location that tells it exactly where to find it, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to do a location equals, which means an exact match for 403.html, and only this location 403.html, in the root of var www html my example. And then we need to tell the system that this is an internal page only. This is not something that we're going to request directly. We're replacing the error page 404 as it matches exactly. And the internal directive inside my location tells it that this isn't a page that can be accessed. If, in other words, I can't put in www.myexample.local/404.html. This is only an internal designation for redirecting the 404 error message to our 404.html page that we just created. So we'll go ahead and save this. And let's make sure I created the right file here, var.www.html, my example, and we did 404.html. So now all we need to do is we need to do an nginx and a -t, and then a service nginx restart. And then if we do a links http www.myexample.local and something, it doesn't really matter what it is, we'll see that this is our custom content does not exist page, www.myexample.local 404 error. So again, we can do this for any error page on a domain by domain basis. You do need to be careful that when you set your location that you use the equal sign, which is an exact match rather than a path-based match, as well as using the internal directive, which indicates that it's an internal use of that file and can't be accessed directly through a browser. It tells Nginx that this is for Nginx's use only internally. So as far as customizing our error pages and exerting some granular control over how things appear in our web server by domain or in general, that's all there is to it. My name is Terry for Linux Academy.